This is the Amor Al Migrante podcast, Love for the Migrant, a project of Estrella del Paso, the largest provider of free immigration legal services in West Texas and southern New Mexico. This podcast is coming to you from El Paso, Texas, hosted by Sandra Ramirez and Cristian Trujillo. Please subscribe to the Amor Al Migrante podcast to be alerted about new episodes and visit www.estrelladelpaso.org to support our work on the southern border.
Hello everyone, today we have a few guests in our podcast at Chelsie del Paso, Amor Al Migrante. This time we have Gus Delgado, who's the owner of Old Sheepdog Brewery, and he is an actual in-house craft beer expert. And we have Sandra and Chelsie with us today.
Some familiar faces here. Everyone knows Chelsie, owner of Chuco Relic, a fan favorite souvenir shop in El Paso. If you haven't been there, check it out. You can also order online. They ship. ChucoRelic.com. You're also wearing our You Belong Chuco t-shirt, which we are obsessed with. You can still get that, by the way. It's still in store.
Let's dive right into it. Ladies first. So we're gonna start with Chelsie. So Chelsie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, how the idea of Chuco Relic was born, and what has been your path through this journey?
So I grew up in Juarez, but I always came to school in El Paso. So that's how I was born into the fronteriza, or like my fronteriza experience. And then I left El Paso for 10 years. I left for college, work, life. And during that time, I just fell in love with what El Paso is, what it stands for, and the community that we have. And so I ended up coming back. And during that time that I was gone, I really wanted to showcase, I didn't know how, but I wanted to promote El Paso in the way that I was seeing it, because there was still a lot of like, El Paso is boring, there's nothing to do. And so my way of solving that was I worked with the tourism department, and then from there I had the opportunity to purchase Mancho, and I rebranded it to Chuco Relic, and I continued with my mission of promoting El Paso, supporting local artists. And now we have 3 locations, we have our warehouse, and we get to support nonprofits that are reported to us.
Perfect. Yeah, Sandra mentioned at the beginning, Chuco Relic was the one that partnered with us when we released our You Belong shirts. If you guys haven't checked them out, I think they have a few in stock still.
Yes, we do.
So you can check out on their website or visit one of the 3 locations for that shirt. So you mentioned that you were born in Juarez, right?
No, I was born in El Paso, but I lived in Juarez.
You lived in Juarez?
Yes.
So how was that transition? Like, you were just living there and then crossing like for here? Or
yeah, so I would every day travel over. Back then we didn't have the luxury of express, so it was like waiting. We would wake up at 5 a.m. to get in line to be in school, to make sure that we were in school by 8, because sometimes the line was long and sometimes it was short. So it was that unpredictability. And yeah, I mean, that was normal to me. And I thought that was normal for every kid, because I went to a private school, and at that school there was other people that had that same journey that I did. And so when I left El Paso, that's when I realized how unique our experience is, how we get to experience both sides of the border, and how I got to live the life in Juarez, where I would go to parques and go to Parque Chamizal, things like that I got to grow up with. And then I also had the American experience with school and just the typical high school experience that we have.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Enjoying this podcast? Just a quick reminder, in 2023, Estrella del Paso helped over 7,000 clients, with nearly all of the cases being free. This early giving season, every bit of support helps us to continue this essential work. Don't forget to show your support by donating at estrelladelpaso.org or visiting our El Paso Giving Day page, link below. And that's all. Back to the podcast.
Perfect. That's one of the reasons why we really wanted to invite both of you guys here, because you have such a personal connection to this unique border life, right? And to the issue of immigration. So Gus, just tell us a little bit about your connection to it and how that ties into your business here at Old Sheepdog.
So my story is very similar to Chelsie's. I was born in El Paso, but grew up in Juarez, and was crossing also every single day to go to school since I was in kinder. So me crossing over to El Paso every day was very. I mean, I feel the same way. Like it was something that it was so normal for us. It was so like yeah, this is how you live. And I've always seen El Paso and Juarez as a one. And so me crossing sometimes with my parents taking me over, or me just walking over through the bridge, especially through high school, like walking on the bridge. I got to experience people from both sides, and I got to experience people that were kind of like not struggling, but trying to make it by selling whatever it was in the bridge, or and it brought to me, it kind of like felt like I was it gave me a love for people, and a love for like the community, for the city, and it gave me that, I've always said that we are all just here trying to make it, and it makes people, no matter their status, no matter their financials, and I've always seen it as one. We are all the same, and that's the main thing. And when we opened the business, that's what I was trying to focus on, to help out, of course, but to always treat everybody equally the same.
And I think like now you mentioned, both of you, right? It's just like crossing the bridge. It's like own country, because you have people selling stuff, and then you have kids crossing back and forth, and then you have family members that they were shopping in El Paso, and then they have family members that they were shopping in Juarez. So it's a whole situation where, like, man, it's just so different and unique from other places, that people that live here are the only ones that are like capable to exactly tell what is it to live in a city quarter, right? One of the things that I remember too is, like, I had my friends in school, but also had my friends that I had crossing the bridge, right? Those friends, like, you see them just in the morning, like 7 in the morning, and then you see them once again right in the afternoon, once you're ready to come back home, right? So those are the things that I kind of remember when I was going back and forth. And of course, you get to be friends of the lady who was selling the papitas, or like polis or paletas. And it was just a fun experience, because they will see you pass and they will say, hey, hi, mijo, and you make a connection with them already. So it was just so unique how, like, two cultures, like with two different languages, two different countries, will get combined and make just one on its own.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why so many people have such a connection to immigration in our community, because it's part of our own background, part of our parents' background. And so even for a lot of the people who do the work that we do, and I know at our event here, we also had someone speak when we had our You Belong event here, someone from Chuco Relic also spoke about her personal experience, right? And I think people get involved in immigration work, or advocating for immigrant rights or human rights, or all of these things, because there's a very personal connection to it, right? And then I know when I first started doing this work, a lot of it was, I can see, you can see your relatives' faces, like, that could be my tia, that could be my cousin, that could be, and you make these personal connections to that work. And I think that a lot of people in the community also have, right? Because we are able to see people on that human level. And sometimes that's kind of what's lacking, right? It's step number one is seeing people as like human beings, just like me and you. I'd like to ask both of you guys, though, what have you seen, or what would you like to see in our community when it comes to supporting immigration advocacy, immigrant rights, those types of issues? What have you guys seen or would like to see in our community?
I guess it's acceptance, I guess, and look at it as of, what would you do if you were in that situation? And I think we would all do probably the same thing as some of these people that, try to make it better for your family, for your kids. And I think it's mainly that. If we could just turn it around and put yourself in that situation, what would you do? And just have that acceptance. I think that would change a lot.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think one thing that really impacted me growing up was seeing the kids that would sell on the bridge, and thinking the only difference between us is that I was born in a different place from them, and then that they don't get the same opportunities just because of the place that they were born. And so I feel like right away when people put people in different groups, it's not fair just because you had the privilege of being born on a different side, right? Because they deserve the same opportunities. They deserve the same opportunities. And so I think that's one thing to kind of understand, that we really were just born. It's just where we were born, and that right away makes us different, and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's
So I was gonna ask you guys, because both of you partnered with Estrella del Paso, which were known as the MRS, right? So for Chelsie, how was your reaction when we asked you to help us to do something so significant as the shirt, something that represents us, and like, you know, something that you can put and be walking around and people be like, man, that shirt looks so cool. Like, where did you get it from? How was the response when you got that?
You know, it was an amazing opportunity. We had been wanting to do a design with the Virgen, but we didn't want it to be where it was just something that we were selling and just as an image. Like, we wanted it to be tied to something important. We didn't want to misrepresent her, you know, because she's so important to our community. And so we didn't feel like, okay, we're just going to do it because she's part of our culture and we're going to make money off of it. You know, that felt wrong to me. So we already had the Virgen in our like pending designs. But then when we got to partner with La Estrella, it felt like the perfect opportunity. Like you all have her as one of your symbols, and so we wanted to represent her as well, and to explain what she represents. So it also gives us an opportunity when people come into our store to say who we're partnered with and what it represents to us and what it presents to the nonprofit. So it's just an awesome opportunity for us, and it also gives us the chance to say what we stand for.
You know, for you, because when we asked you to help us with the growler, how was the response? You know, something that I had never seen before, like a growler being designed in conjunction with someone else, right? It's usually you get the growler just with the branding of the brewery, and also we see, but this time you decided to partner up with immigration with us. So what was your...
It was, for us, obviously, we stand with the community, and that is on both sides. And we wanted to, when you guys brought over the idea, if we wanted to partner up, for me it was a yes immediately. Why? Because, you know, it is our beliefs, it is what we are, and what we are is, you know, we call ourselves Cerveza del Pueblo, which, you know, the El Paso County had given us that official name now, the Cerveza del Pueblo. So it only make sense to do this and partner up. I love that event, and you know, I love that Chuco Relic got to release that shirt here, and with us doing not only just the growler but doing an actual beer for it was great, and make it representative of a beer that is very approachable to people, but twisting it with that brown rice, you know, and everybody thinks about brown like our color, and that's what we are. And I felt that beer was very special for that particular moment and that theme of what we were trying to push, which was that we belong, we all do belong in wherever we want to be, we belong.
Yeah, it's such a unique identity, I think, for those of us who've grown up so close to both sides. It's such a unique identity because, and it's the same thing, we have it on our mural, and it's like a popular thing, somos de aquí, somos de allá. And we put that positive spin on it, because before it was like, ni de aquí, ni de allá. And that's not true, right? Like, we can be for both places, and I think that with working with companies like local businesses like yours, I think that like the both of yours, has really helped kind of spread that message, right? That we're all on the same page, that we're not alone in feeling this unique identity, right? That we all can relate to both cultures,
yes,
to both countries, to everything that it encompasses. If you had to name, if someone came from out of town and has never been to El Paso, and you had to describe it in one sentence, like, what is so great about El Paso? What would you guys say?
Go ahead. I'm totally gonna steal it from you. Yeah, go ahead.
I think what I describe El Paso is, we are a community. You're never feeling alone, because if you went to school here, and even if you didn't, once you start connecting with people, you're now a part of a bigger group, and so you're gonna always just have someone there for you, and that's one of the best things about being and living in El Paso.
You know what's funny about that? I didn't realize this until later. A friend said, someone who moved here later said, you realize that people only do that in El Paso where they ask you, what high school did you go to? They're like, that's only an El Paso thing. I'm like, really?
Yes. And I think because it shows, like, I think your high school also connects you with maybe a bit of your personality. And so like, okay, so you're from there, so you kind of connect it, and then you could connect with them further. It's always like, okay, do you know this person? And it goes even further than that, so I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I would say that Paso is a big city, but with still that small town charm of loving, and that we all know each other and respect, and that's what I love about El Paso. And I love that we could connect with one person, and that person's connected to you, and somehow, somewhere, you guys shared a moment, and that's what I love about El Paso, and the fact that it has been, very welcoming to a lot of people, and I consider myself a Chuco person, even though I grew up in Juarez, but it's all one, and that's what El Paso is. It's just love and respect, and I love that.
And it's so crazy because, like you mentioned, right? You can talk to someone, and then someone is connected directly to someone else. And we have the perfect example, right? Chuco Relic, they're connected to us, and then the brewery got connected to us. So it's like 3 different worlds got connected at some point that we were able to form this, collaboration and represent our city and show it or portray it to someone else. Because we have people that get here from other places of the country and come here to get a beer, just to see the mural, the art, the brewery, the process. The same way they go to Chuco Relic, they go ahead and want to get a piece of El Paso, and they get it through your merch, through your stickers, through your shirts. And it's just a piece that we can carry around everywhere we go, because we already made that connection with our city, with the person that live in this town. That's so crazy.
I know. I love that. Well, we really want to thank both of you guys for joining us for this conversation. We just really want people to know, hey, this is our community. These are the people who make up the things that we love in this community, right? And I think, as you said it perfectly, we are super welcoming as a community to anybody, right? To come in, and we are going to welcome you. And for us, that's no different what country you were born in, right? Like, we are going to welcome you and do our best to help you. So we're really happy that you guys love the.
Well, we're glad that at least I'm glad. No, that there's an organization like y'all, that stands for what we believe in, because it's one thing for us to say that it's one thing for us to support it, but it's another thing for us to have people like y'all that are out there helping them and giving us the opportunity to say, okay, well, this is a nonprofit that I stand with, that I'm able to help, So that's really important, that there's people like y'all that are welcoming those people, because I just think about it, like, if I was put in that situation, I'd want to, I get to my final state, and I want to find people like you who say, yeah, you're welcome. You belong. So that's really awesome what you guys do.
Thank you.
Yep. And with me said, I mean, I'm also glad. I'm real happy that there's places like yourself, like you guys, that do have that good intention and that good heart of helping out, and even though the brewery and Chuco Relic are just a small piece of it, but it takes the whole, how they say it takes a whole village, right? So it does it takes all of us to help out and just make everybody feel like a person and feel welcome, Yeah. And that's the main focus, and I love the partnership that we did. I love the and how we're able to now put it out in a shirt and a beer and put it out there that we're all just one.
Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. Remember, you can always support these businesses. Please do, by the way, because we love them. Come on over to Old Sheepdog. You guys have a ton of events on your social media, a lot of promotional things that are going on. So check them out on their Instagram, Facebook.
And together, too.
Yes. There's a ton of stuff. Swing by Chuco Relic, the 3 locations you said, west, east, and then the central location. And then also at chucorelic.com. You can always get stuff shipped. That's really convenient. It's really good for gifts now that the holiday season is coming up. Just get them shipped to your family. My family out of town loves getting El Paso stuff.
Awesome.
So a great place to do your holiday shopping. And remember, you can subscribe to the Amor Al Migrante podcast, the relaunching of it. Thanks, Christian, for helping us relaunch this project. Thank you guys for being a part of our relaunch. We love it. Make sure that you subscribe and share this with somebody who might want to check it out. Thanks.